Hello. Hi, I am Tasatsu. It's nice to meet you all. Sorry if I'm awkward. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go first. Go ahead. All right. Sorry, I'm new to this whole thing, so you'll have to bear with me here. Oh, yeah, already messing everything up. That's all right. Can't win for shit. All right. Well, I guess I'll talk about myself real quick here. My name is Tasatsu. I live and breathe for Washington State. It's my favorite place to be. I am in college and I do part time daycare, and all the kids think I'm old and short. They're like, "You're so short and old." I'm like, "Okay, thanks. I'm not, but okay." And I guess I'll start with my favorite movie. My favorite Halloween movie is Rob Zombie's Halloween. I had the unrated director's cut, not the normal one. So it was really long. It's about 2 hours and like I think it's like 15 minutes or something like that. Um, and so here are my thoughts on it. I thought the selection, like Scream, was cheesy. It was really jank. um, so the movie kind of starts off with this interesting quote, which I, for some reason, didn't write it down, but yeah. And it says it's by this guy named Loomis, and I'm like, oh, okay. Not thinking anything of it. Turns out this guy's important. He's like one of the most important characters in the movie. Is Loomis? Yes, he is very important. I was like, who the f is this guy? Why is he here? No, he's really important. So we start out in the household of young Michael Myers. It kind of explains a lot about him. It's very important that we have this backstory so we can kind of relate to him and understand him a bit more. We see his parents who are always fighting. One of them works at a nightclub part time, the other one's a drunk mechanic dude, and, unstable, abusive household. And it's really hard to watch, but the acting was very well done. And then we cut to Michael Myers' school. He's about 10, 9 to 10 years old, and he's getting bullied a lot. And this is when we really start to see his aggression show in the movie, is with all this bullying. And he's like, that's it, I'm done. Fuck you guys. I fucking hate you. And you're like, oh shit, bro was like going off on his bullies. And so a teacher comes in and tries to intervene, and he tells the teacher to fuck off. And they go to the principal's office, and this is when we find out that he's been taking apart like dead animals, killing them and dissecting them and torturing them. And the teachers are like, this isn't good. You need to like see somebody. Yeah, and so then they bring in Loomis. He's like a psychiatrist or some sorts. And we're like, oh, the guy from the quote from the title screen. Loomis. Wow. And so you're like, okay, here we go. But Michael, he starts running off. He's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. So he grabs his shit and starts running off. But he starts following one of his bullies. And we're like, oh, with a baseball bat. And we're like, oh. And he tracks down the bully in this like wooded area and beats him to death. That's his first real kill. And it's very, very, very important. But it also feels justified in a sense because, it built up. We're about, almost 30 minutes in the movie now. And you're like, oh, we know this bully was like fucking with him. calling him a faggot, beating him up, and so then he kills him. So, it tries to trick you into thinking, like, oh, this was a justified kill, even though it's not justified to kill anybody. Yeah, but we see it and we relate. I thought that was really interesting to build up and to get to know these characters. So, then we get to the point where it's Halloween that night. It's October 31st, and he makes his way home. Nobody knows he killed this boy. And, he sees his mom, and they're talking, and she's like, what you did at school was terrible. I don't know if I should let you go trick or treating. But, she caves and lets him go. And his sister was supposed to take him, but she didn't. She wanted to fuck her boyfriend. So yeah, we're good. That's wild. That's interesting. So anyways, Michael was supposed to go trick or treating. His sister was supposed to take him, but then he goes by himself. We don't see him actually trick or treat. We cut to him sitting outside his house with a bowl of candy, upset. And Rob Zombie does this thing where he cuts between Michael sitting there stewing in his thoughts and his mom stripping on a strip pole on Halloween night, which was interesting. With this, the sound mixing was awesome, actually. It was really good. I thought it was tastefully done. But, anyways, where am I? Yeah, so got the stripper thing going on, and Michael goes into the house. And he's sitting there. He has his signature little clown mask in that movie. He has a clown mask that he wears all the time because he likes to hide himself behind it. And he's sitting there flicking candy. His dad is passed out drunk on the couch. He can hear his sister fucking her boyfriend upstairs, and he just is like, done. He's done. So he grabs a kitchen knife, wanders into the living room where his dad's passed out drunk watching TV, tapes him down with duct tape, covers his mouth, and slits his dad's throat and kills him. So, as you can see where this is going, he's starting to just kill a lot. He goes upstairs and he is just kind of like, oh, she's still getting fucked by her boyfriend. So he waits with a baseball bat in the shadows, hiding for the boyfriend to come down. The boyfriend comes down, starts eating Michael's candy. He whacks him on the head with a baseball bat and kills him. But this is what really annoyed me, which is dumb. But the blood splatter made no sense in this scene. There was no blood splatter. No blood splatter at all. But he's whacking this guy's head in with a baseball bat. And there's hardly any blood. They cut to his dead body, and there's blood all over the floor from his head. Tons of it, which doesn't make any sense. That's not how it works. So the blood work was not great the first half of the movie at all. The gore just didn't make any sense. It felt like not real, just not real at all. So, anyways, he's dead now, and he puts on the Michael Myers mask that the boyfriend had. The mask. The boyfriend had this, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so, the Star Trek mask, the Michael Myers mask. It looks normal. It's not spray painted white in this. They don't actually spray paint it in the movie. I'll explain that later once we get later down the road with the movie. But he puts on the Star Trek Michael Myers mask, goes up, and this part was weird. I don't even know if I want to talk about it. I didn't understand this. I don't. Michael, his sister's laying there listening to Fuck, what song was it? I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah. But it's a classic song. Let's see if I can find it. There's a lot. This movie is really long. I can't find where I wrote it down. It comes back later though. We'll see it later. His sister's listening to a song with headphones, not paying attention, and Michael like spider walks his hand across her thigh. Weird. She thinks it's her boyfriend, turns around, is like, Michael, what the fuck are you doing? And yeah, let's see. And then he kills her. I didn't write down how, but it was the like baseball bat, but she didn't die right away. There's a theme in this movie where the women don't die right away. They get tortured. So she's injured and Michael just watches her crawling across the floor, blood everywhere for some reason. And then finally whacks her in and kills her. And so she's dead. Yeah. And then we see the mom wrapping up at the strip club, heading home. Michael's sitting outside with his clown mask, not the Star Trek mask. And he left. So he has a little baby sister that is called Boo. We find out what Boo's real name is later in the movie. He doesn't kill the baby. And there's a reason why. The baby didn't do anything to hurt Michael. The baby, he liked Boo. He didn't like his sister. His sister was not nice to him. His dad was very rude. He liked his mom. His mom was nice to him. So Boo's alive in that house. And then the mom comes home. Judith Myers. And she's like, Michael, what are you doing out here? And, you know, Michael's like, not really saying anything. He's just sitting there. She goes inside. Judith goes inside and realizes everyone's dead. We don't see what happened after that. Michael's just sitting on the step, and then we see the cops coming in and, you know, them arresting Michael, the mom freaking out. But we know Michael didn't kill the mom or Boo because they never hurt him. They never hurt Michael. And so all of his kills have a theme. It doesn't stay that way for some goddamn reason. I don't fucking understand it. I tried to make it connect a little bit. Tried to think of a way how it connected. It just doesn't. But that's fine. That's whatever. I just really liked the first act because, you know, it made sense. Yeah, I like a good origin story. I like a good build up. Sorry, I'm all congested. Because I almost died last night. This is like so dumb. But if you guys would like to know, 50 minutes. If anyone's still watching, I almost died last night due to allergies. So yeah, I went to the hospital. It was great. It was grand. They gave me epinephrine and steroids. So that was interesting. But I'm still not feeling too great because of it. But it's fine. You know, it happens. But anyways, I think his father being his second kill was a little confusing. You know, why was his bully the first kill? I think maybe because. I think it's because the bully was the same size as him and he'd never killed a real person before. He didn't feel as intimidated. That could be the reason why, but I feel like his father should have been his first kill. And also, I don't really think there was any reason to kill the boyfriend. But like, because Michael's 10, maybe he's smart enough to know that the boyfriend would do something to stop him, but I just don't think, you know. Maybe it's because the boyfriend was fucking his sister, but he didn't like his sister, so I don't know. Yeah, it's a little hard. Yeah, I just don't see the motive in killing the boyfriend. But, it's a horror movie. I'm not going to nitpick too much. Um, I feel like the uh, origin story was a little fast paced too. Like, because it wasn't even that much of the movie. Like this is a 2 hour long movie. I looked it up. It's already an hour and 50 minutes in general. So only taking. What? Really? Interesting. I just. Yeah, which is really nice. I just, I love origin stories, and I would have loved to get to know the slutty sister and Boo a little bit more, and the dysfunctional family dynamic. But that's my only real nitpick about Act One. Also, the blood work not being great. Yeah, well, we're actually in Act Two, Part One. This is a long movie, so it's Act Two, Part One of Act Two. Before we move on to that, I just wanted to say that the actor, um, Dag Fark, or Dag Fark, I don't know how to say it very well, did an amazing job. That child did so good acting out a psychopath. And he's in Act 2, Part 1 a little bit longer, too. I just wanted to compliment that. And of course, Rob Zombie's wife did very good playing the mom. So, it was also good. My notes are insane. I know. They're very interesting. So we see Loomis again. Good job. I have to write shit down because my memory sucks ass. So we see Loomis again sitting down in this insane asylum that you know how insane asylums were back then. Not great. Across from Mike. And Mike is acting like, oh, I don't remember killing anyone. He's like, I don't remember even doing that. He doesn't even know his sibling is dead and that his father is dead. He has no clue, apparently. And this is when we learn that we're actually going into documentary style from Loomis's point of view a little bit. We learn that Loomis is recording everything to write, a little documentary or like a little book. This ties into the second movie. I'm not going to talk about the second movie. The second movie was a fever dream. It was interesting. And I just remember I wrote down Act Two can be really confusing at first, and this is funny to me. So he's sitting across, they're talking, they're chatting, and he's like, interesting, you don't remember anything from that night. Mike's like, no, I don't. And he's being really nice, and he's made this little mask, this little paper mask that's all black. And Loomis is like, why is it black? And Mike goes, because black is my favorite color, and this is important to remember. There was a little chat where Loomis was like, black isn't a color, and Mike was just kind of like, why the fuck are you telling me this? I'm a child. So actually, Loomis says black is the absence of light and color, and white is all colors. And I'm like, that's kind of true, but kind of not. Black can be defined as a color. Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was kind of dumb. Yeah. Um, Yeah, color theory is very fascinating and it's very confusing. So this kind of jumps around a lot in Act 2, Part 1 of the Insane Asylum. We see a little bit of Mike making paper masks and locked inside walls, and his mom comes to visit. And then we have this little scene where I think kind of fucked Mike really bad as a 10-year-old in the Insane Asylum. This janitor, this real nice janitor's like, I've been behind bars too. The only friend you have is your mind. So live inside your mind. Bad idea to tell a psychopathic child. Don't live inside your mind. So Mike actually really took that in. And that's where we start to see him breaking down. And we go back from like Loomis interviewing him. Mike mentions things like nobody sees him for who he is, and that's why he wears the masks. And let's see. And that he explains how the mask hides him and whatnot. And we kind of see the breakdown of 10-year-old Mike. He starts to like disassociate from everyone else and around him, not communicate, and he's being mistreated by the staff. He's not allowed to even go outside or do anything. He just has to stay inside his cell, padded cell, all the time until Loomis comes to interview him and talk to him. And we can really see how it's affecting him. He refuses to take a mask off at all anymore and gets upset when anyone tries to tell him not to. And eventually, Mike just doesn't say anything at all to them. They just sit there and try to talk to him, but he's just not responding. And so, uh, Loomis takes Miss Myers out to her car and they start leaving, and a nurse is meant to sit with Mike. And the nurse is like, huh, you're a crazy one, aren't you? Nobody likes you. And she just starts sitting there reading her stupid fucking newspaper. And Mike just kind of loses it and kills her right then and there. And we see, yeah, and this is when the sound mixing like is top notch. We've got a constant little static and alarms going off, and we can't even hear anything that's actually going on except for like faint shouting as they restrain Mike and the nurse is dying, and Miss Myers and Loomis see everything that happened. And then we cut to Miss Myers on her couch watching videos of when Mike was still really there, and she kills herself. Yeah, so now Mike doesn't have a mom, and Boo doesn't have anywhere to go. So we can only assume Boo gets orphaned. And then we cut into Act 2, Part 2. And, Mike's like, I don't know, 22 at first in this bit. Like 22, 25, I think. Something along that age range. We don't get an exact pinpoint, but I'm thinking somewhere between 22 to 25. And Loomis is still there, still documenting Mike, still doing this. And we're like, kind of like, why, bro? Why? But okay. And we see older Mike, the Mike that everyone knows, the Mike everyone sees, in scrubs and whatnot, with his new mask. And this is fun. I only noticed this till a little bit later, but the mask he's wearing in this part is a recreation of his clown mask that he had as a kid. Yeah. And Mike is just still not talking to Loomis, like, at all. Really. So, and Loomis is like, I think I'm done, Mike. I can't do this anymore. And he leaves Mike alone there. No one else to come visit him at all. So now Mike is completely alone. And this is when things really amp up. Mike is in his cell, and the janitor from the beginning is retiring, so he's not there anymore. It's his last night, and it's almost Halloween. It's October, so that's important. We have to remember that. I think it's like October 29th or 28th. So these newbies are drunk and high as shit, dragging around this random girl in a psych ward, and they want to fuck her. It's always sex, I'm telling you, it's always fucking sex. And they open up Mike's cell and drag her in there and start fucking raping her on his bed. And Mike is just sitting there and he's getting angry. He's not having it. And then they touch his masks. He makes little masks and they're all over his wall. And that's when he loses it because they're touching his masks. And that's apparently like a big thing. Touching his shit. Don't touch his shit. And Mike gets up and starts killing the two security guards. They're dead. And I wrote down that maybe he was triggered by the fucking sounds, but I think like PTSD or something, the shouting and whatnot, and that's why he maybe killed them, not the masks, but it's probably just the masks. And then he escapes because he's not restrained anymore. So Mike starts trying to escape, and he takes the security officer's blue outfits. So if you know, like old Halloween, it wasn't black, it was blue, It was like a blue, and so this is like a reference to that. So he's wearing essentially a blue mechanic's jumpsuit, except it's not a mechanic's jumpsuit, but it's like a blue jumpsuit thing. And so I thought that was kind of cool. And let's see. He kills the receptionist when escaping, and you see kind of like the aftermath of what he did with the security guards when the retired one comes in to grab the rest of his shit. He forgot something, and he's like, oh my god, Mike escaped and killed these people. And he finds Mike by the receptionist that he like just killed, and he's like, come on, Mikey, don't do this. Let's just get you back in your cell. I'm gonna try and cuff you. And Mike just kind of has his arms out, and he tries to cuff Mike. And I'm kind of annoyed by this. Mike decides to kill him, which is interesting because that security guard was the only one that treated Mike like a human, and was the only one that was nice to him. And it felt kind of forced because there's this whole waterboarding scene and suffering of the security guard that actually treated Mike nice. And then he gets his head smashed in by a CBC TV. And it felt forced. And now we're kind of into Act 3 of a 2-hour movie. And we see Mike at a truck stop, making his way back to Haddonfield, or Haddonfield, however you say it. And truck stop, escaping, and he goes into the bathroom, being interested in it. Michael doesn't like to piss at a urinal. He likes to piss in privacy. So, this is important. He wants to use the only stall in the men's restroom, but somebody's in there. A trucker is in there. And the trucker refuses to get out of the stall for obvious motherfucking reasons. A random person's knocking on the stall, and the trucker's just trying to take a shit. And fucking Mike kills him so he can take a piss. And it just didn't. I know. I was like, this don't make sense, but okay. And so he kills the dude, and then he gets the black jumper, the one we see now. So he gets the black jumper, and I wrote down loving the forms of Mike over the years. Interesting note. And gets black jumper on the side. Interesting note, Elle. Good job. Oh, and this is where I tied in the favorite color of black, because why would he take another jumper when he already had one? But that's fine. I think he took it because it was black. So this is where I wrote True Act 3, because we had kind of that intro to Act 3. It's October 31st, back in Haydenville, Haddonfield, I don't know how to say it, Illinois. And we see the scene set up. We're introduced to this new family. And we see similarities a little bit in the girl called Lori. And we're like, yes, Lori's important. Don't forget Lori. So we see kind of similarities of Lori and like her dynamic with her family is similar to Judith, which was Mike's sister, and how we see like they squabble but they don't fight like the old family, and that they truly love each other. And we get to see a little bit how about these like characters interact with each other. Mundane things. Lori babysits, goes to school. The father goes to work. The mom, she kind of stays home. She's kind of like a stay-at-home mom. And the father really loves Halloween, has all these decorations and all that shit. So we get to see a little bit of a setup. And we see Mike then at his old childhood house. He went back to his old childhood house. And he's kind of mucking around in there. It's abandoned. And as he's mucking around, he finds a knife, a big kitchen knife, the one we see in all the posters. And then we find the Star Trek mask, but it's sun bleached, completely white, dusty, and cracked. So, yay, iconic Michael Myers is here. Hooray, finally. Good job. And we see Lori goes to Mike's old house to deliver mail or something. We don't really know. It's like a manila envelope. She kind of just puts it in there, and Mike takes it and looks at it. And I wrote down, um, maybe Lori's Mike's baby sister? Question mark. Remember this? You know, I'm like, she's interesting. And then I wrote, hold up. Mike stalks Lori. So for a long ass time, we just see Mike stalking Lori, watching her, and all this shit. And I forgot to mention this, but in the psych ward, his mom brought him a picture of him and Lori from when they were kids, and he kept that photo and he carries it around with him. How sweet. How cute. Yeah, how sweet. And Mike's like not like stalking her. He's just kind of like hiding in bushes and by trees, just watching her. Yeah, it's nothing too insane, just a little creepy. You know, she doesn't really realize she's being stalked for some goddamn reason. I don't know how she doesn't realize that. I guess, yeah. And then we cut to Loomis going over legal shit with the psych ward and how they, had an escapee. And he's like, where do you think Mike's gonna fucking go? Back to his old house, dumbasses. And they're like, but that's 100 miles away. And he's like, well, fucking get it with it. And then I'm guessing that Mike will kill to protect Lori. And that he misreads the family dynamic or something. And for some reason, he defiles his father's grave. That was brought up when Loomis is like looking at the family graves and shit, and how the mom was buried next to the dad, the sister, and he's like, and the um fucking cemetery groundskeeper was like, "Who fucking did this shit?" And there's a bunch of mangled animal corpses there. For some reason, I wrote that down. Like, that was important. But he does that. And then it's like Halloween night now. So it's October 31st. And Mike's at the old family house fucking around, mucking in the dust and dirt, being a sad loner, angsty as fuck. And Lori has two friends, they're cheerleaders, and one of them breaks into Mike's old house to fuck the boyfriend. And Mike kills them. And I'm thinking maybe he killed them because either they broke into his old house, or two, it reminded him of the night that he killed his sister and the boyfriend. And it was almost exactly like the first scene of him killing, which was interesting. I wrote down Mike kills Slut's boyfriend with old knife found in house. Um, it was an interesting kill. It was weird. And then for some reason, he takes the body of that cheerleader. We see him walking with the cheerleader's dead body, and then we don't see where he takes it. So we find out later. And after this whole weird killing scene where he was hiding under a white sheet pretending to be the boyfriend for some goddamn reason to kill the naked cheerleader, we cut back to. Oh, he did. Ah, you see, I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I that makes a lot of sense. And so now we're at Lori's house. The family's together on Halloween night, and then Lori goes to babysit this little kid and leaves. And all of a sudden, fucking Mike just teleported somehow to Lori's house. Like, he just was there. He was just there. Yeah, he's just been living forever and teleporting around. And he kills Lori's parents. And we have a long death scene with the mom. See this, like, the woman just dies slow for some reason. And he like breaks her neck and shit. It was weird. Okay, so Annie is one of Lori's friends, the other cheerleader. And she and Lori are talking, okay? Like, we don't know where Mike is right now, just mucking around, okay? Just having a grand old motherfucking time, killing people. And he kind of like, we see him kind of like following someone, but then not following someone. We think he's following Annie to Lori's, the house Lori's babysitting at, but he didn't. He did not. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, no. Do your thing. Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, do your thing. I guess to the viewers, it's kind of confusing a little bit because we see Mike like following Annie, and Annie has a little sister named Lindsay, and Tommy's the boy that Lori is babysitting, and we see Mike following Annie, bringing Lindsay to Lori to babysit. But then, like, you think he's gonna stay at Lori's house, but he doesn't. And then we find out that Lori is Mike's sister, Boo. She was adopted. So Lori is actually Boo. Her real name is Angel Myers. Just fun fact. We only learned that in the second movie, though. And Mike actually just followed Annie. I mean, their houses are really close together, so it didn't take long. Like, they're like right across the street from each other. So Mike follows Annie, who is having sex with some guy. More sex. Always fucking sex. And Mike kills the guy with a knife. And Annie is trying to kill Annie, but Annie fights back. The music mixing was really good. We got the sirens and the static noise again with the shouting. It's overwhelming, and that's like kind of the point. And he lets Annie suffer, and we think he kills her off screen. And then Laurie leaves Tommy by himself to bring back Lindsay to Annie because it's getting late and Annie needs to go back home. And before we get to this, we gotta catch you up on the cops because there's still Loomis and cop shit going on that I didn't quite bring up yet. This was all happening while Loomis was talking to the cops. And Loomis tracks down all all the people in the original case from when Mike was 10, and he gets them to listen to him and go to Haddonville to find Mike. And now we're back to Laurie, who walks into Annie's house and is like, Annie, where are you? I have your little sister, Lindsay. And they turn on the lights and they find Annie, who is still fucking alive, covered in blood. And Laurie runs to a phone in another room, but Mike was hiding behind the door and he pops on out and he's still there. And we cut to Loomis and his cop buddy who take this 911 call from Laurie and they go to find Mike. But Mike is like, I'm gonna find my little sister, Boo. So Mike goes to Laurie and he kind of just follows her around with a knife while she screams. And Laurie, like, goes back to Tommy's house and they find out while Mike chases Laurie. What did they do? What did I even write there? I can't fucking read this shit. Oh. And Tommy is freaking out and Lindsay is there at Tommy's house and they go to hide in the bathroom and Mike is just kind of chasing them. But they lock the bathroom door and Mike's just kind of out there. And the cops show up to Annie's house and they find that the boyfriend is hanging up dead and Annie's still alive. And they're like, fuck, where did they go? And the cops go to Tommy's house because they see the fucking front door open and shit, and they kind of just guesstimate and that they're in the bathroom and like Mike's not there. And they're like, the cops are like, open the door, it's the cops. And they're like, fuck, okay, we're gonna open the door. So they open the door and the cop is like right there, and then Mike kills the cop and he breaks into the bathroom Shining style, apparently. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna go to open the door, but the cop gets killed before they can open the door, and he kind of smashes the bathroom door open. Shining style. And then we get slaughter of the cops. Laurie's running around, and Mike's killing all the cops while the kids are freaking out. And so the kids are freaking out and running around, but Mike doesn't kill the kids, he just grabs Laurie. And Laurie's like, oh my god, what the fuck? And he knocks her out and he starts carrying her bridal style. And I'm like, you think she's dead, but she's not dead. She's not dead. And more cops arrive and they see the entire massacre. And Loomis sees everything. Annie is still fucking alive somehow. And then we see Mike in his old childhood home, and Laurie's alive, chained to a fucking wall. Which just makes so much sense. And I'm still thinking, like, why is the movie still going on? You thought it would have ended right there at the houses. But no, the movie still has to go on. And this is my biggest complaint. Why is it so long? It should have stopped. It should have been like a minute and 30, like an hour and 30 minutes, you know. We don't need more screaming, running around, Mike trying to kill people. But, anyways, so Mike approaches Lori, who's on the ground chained to a wall, and he drops the knife, gets on his knees, and shows her the picture of them as kids that his mom gave him years ago in the psych ward. Lori doesn't understand. So he removes his mask. We don't see his face though. And Lori's like, I'm not gonna hurt you, I'm not gonna hurt you. And she grabs the knife and stabs Mike and runs. Well, tries to run, tries to escape, and Mike just kind of lays on the ground, not doing anything. Oh, you're back. Hello. Anyways, but on Lori's way out of the dilapidated old home, Mike pulls the knife out of his shoulder, gets up, and puts his mask back on, and chases Lori around the old crumbling house. And as she's like running through the walls, breaking shit apart, trying to get out, she falls into this old pool that has no water in it, nothing. And she's like freaking out and not thinking there's literally steps she can like walk out of the pool. She can climb up out of the pool. She's just like trying to climb up the side of the wall of the pool. It's not working. And Mike just kind of starts circling above her, you know, just kind of walking around the edge of the pool. And then he goes in the pool and starts approaching Lori. But all of a sudden, Loomis shows up. He's just there. Loomis and this cop show up, and Loomis gets out, and earlier he bought a fucking pistol. And Loomis is like, Mike, don't do this. Mike, don't do this. Don't do it, Mike. Don't fucking do it. It stays like 3 minutes of him being like, don't do it, Mikey. Don't fucking do it, Mike. Don't. Nobody hurt you. She didn't hurt you. But then Mike doesn't listen, of course, and Loomis shoots him 3 times, once to the head. Mike collapses, and you're like, oh, okay, now the movie's over, right? Wrong. Wrong. So Loomis gets Lori out of the pool and takes her to the cop car, in which he stole from the cops. He just drove it. Um, let's see. And so he puts Lori in the car, and no, you're good. He starts to like just take a breather on the edge of the cop car for some goddamn reason. Like he thinks it's over, you know. He thinks he killed Mike, so he's just like leaning against the cop car. He's like, "Fuck, man, fuck, this sucks." And he starts to get in, but all of a sudden, Mike like teleported and is alive and like supposedly kills Loomis and grabs Lori again. Um, let's see. Oh no, wait, no, I got this wrong because there's a lot of times we think Loomis is dead. But he grabs Lori first, and Loomis tells Mike it was his fault. It was Loomis's fault. He failed Mike, and then Mike goes after him. And Lori attempts to flee again. Oh, no, wait. Hold on. Okay, give me a second to recollect my thoughts because this is a really confusing ending. No. Starting from Mike teleporting again, not being dead at the cop car. Mike takes Lori into the old dilapidated house. Loomis is like, oh my god, what the fuck? He's alive. And so then Lori's like kind of in that old house again. Mike is there, and Loomis shows up to distract Mike so Lori can escape. And he's like, it's all my fault. Oh no, Mike, I failed you. I shouldn't have left you. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And then Mike goes after Loomis and like kills Loomis. Well, kills air quotes, okay? Because apparently no one can die. And Lori attempts to flee. She like is in the walls of the house. Like inside the walls. Um, but while she's trying to flee, she kind of just hides. And then we get this scene of Mike dragging Loomis's dead body around while he looks for Lori, knife in hand. And then after an obscenely long ass time, we see Mike think he finds Lori, but Lori somehow teleported from inside the walls to outside of the wall because everyone can teleport.
Yeah.
And then she grabs Loomis's. Yeah, they can. She grabs Loomis's gun and just starts sobbing really fucking loudly. And Mike's like, oh, there you are, bitch. You're being loud as fucking shit. And so Mike starts walking up towards her. But then Loomis comes back alive. Okay? Loomis is alive. And grabs Mike's ankle to slow him down. And then he's dead, air quotes again. And Lori's hiding in the attic of the house. Like the attic, like in the ceiling, like she was in the walls earlier. And Mike just takes a 2x4 and starts destroying the fucking ceilings. He's like fucking stabbing the ceilings, and Lori's like crawling around, and then she falls through the ceilings in a completely different part of the house where Mike was, gun in hand. And Mike just kind of stands in the hallway of some other part of the house. And he's like, oh shit, I heard you, bitch. There you are. So then Mike was like, there you are, motherfucker. They're on the second floor of the house. So he runs out of the fucking house and grabs her, but they fall off the fucking balcony that was there and onto the ground. Oh my god. And Mike is like unconscious. Lori is barely fucking conscious. And she tries to shoot him. But the gun is out of bullets. Yeah, the gun has no bullets in it. And Mike grabs Lori's arm while she's trying to shoot him, and somehow the gun goes off after her trying 70 million times. So he's magic, okay? He's magic. He put a bullet in there somehow. Um and then she starts screaming, and the end credits roll. Mike is somehow dead, shot in the head by her, and we get like the end credits start rolling. And then we get like little flashes of like baby pictures of what we think is baby pictures of her as Boo, but it turns out it was just like little fun pictures they took of the actors having a grand old time making the movie. And we get the classic Halloween music playing. So, yeah, so this movie was good. Like, like the first hour and a half of the movie was amazing in almost like every department. But like in the beginning, the acting was a little bit rough with Zombie, who played yeah, who played Mike's mom. But she got really good, and I'm really sad they killed her off in Act Two because she was doing an amazing job later on. Yeah, no, she's in like every Rob Zombie movie, every single one. She was in House of a Thousand Corpses. Yeah. House of Thousand Corpses is a good movie too. It's a really good movie. But we're not talking about that movie. We're talking about this movie. Oh, I'll tell you in a second. I'm gonna go through my final thoughts real quick. So, like, you know, the first hour and a half, amazing. Act 3, Part 2, it was just too long and drawn out and got a little bit annoying after Laurie was running from the house, Annie's house. I thought the house she was babysitting in would be like the end of it, but apparently not, so I don't really fucking know. But the sound direction was on point, the mixing was beautiful, the camera work was good, but not that good. Some shots were just straight on when they didn't need to be. Lighting was actually really good. I love the use of darks when focusing on Far Gone Mike and when focusing on the dad. Also, the use of siren lights complementing Loomis and the cops, although they needed more lighting arrangements during the childhood home scenes in the end because it was very much so just dark all the way around, like which was like important, but also was hard to see what was going on. The acting. Now, like I mentioned earlier in the beginning, it was a bit rough after like the first 30 minutes, it was amazing. You know, Shelley did really good. Whoever played Mike's dad, and I could not find the fucking actor for Mike's dad. I looked everywhere. Everywhere. I have no idea who it was, but he did a phenomenal job. And I know he wasn't really there for long, but he did really well. Most of the actors in the second half were phenomenal. I mean, like, the little side characters were okay, but, you know, they're just, like, one off characters. Um, Malcolm McDowell did pretty well, though he could have done better when he was being attacked. He was the janitor that Mike killed. He should have had more, you know, like fear in his face when he died. No, no, he wasn't the janitor. He was Loomis, I think. Hold on. No, he was Loomis. He did really good, but when he died, air quotes, um, he didn't really put on much of a scene. Like, you're dying, man. You're being fucking murdered by the guy you were writing a fucking documentary about. Like, come on. You could have at least screamed. Um, Dag Fiark did really well playing young Mike, like I mentioned earlier. I was blown away by his performance. His acting was unbelievable. And yeah, I liked the little Easter eggs in the film. They were really good. I did watch the second Rob Zombie film. Loomis did not die, apparently. So, that doesn't make sense. He just fucking came back to life. Mike never dies. If you know Halloween movies, Mike never dies. Yeah, they're ghosts. The second movie kind of really plays into the fact that Mike is a ghost that comes back every Halloween night to kill. And to come back for Laurie, because Laurie doesn't die, obviously. IMDb gave this movie a 6 out of because it was good. Like it was good. Like it wasn't that good. Oh, I gave it like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. IMDb gave it 6. Like it was better than a 6, but it wasn't a 10. It wasn't a 9. But it was a good movie. So yay. There's my scrambled review of Rob Zombie's Halloween unrated director's cut. I haven't seen the normal rated R one that's not a director's cut, so I don't really know the differences between the two. I've always seen the unrated director's cut. And like I may have talked like I don't love this movie, but I really do like this movie a lot. It's like one of my favorite horror movies. So, yeah. Yay, your turn.
Well, I guess I'll introduce myself a little bit. You can call me Patchwork or Patchy, whatever. Um, I am a collector and a painter for sure. Um, right now, I don't really do anything for work, other than volunteer at a haunted house, which is really fun.
And you're really good at it. And it's a really cool haunted house.
It is a really good haunted house. It is. I've been there before. It was one of sorry, trying to keep my certain explore for my imagination.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about it. So my favorite horror movie is actually the one that I'm going to vote for. The vote comes from Exorcist, the original one from 1997, 96, 96. Um, it it was rated R back then, but nowadays I think it's pretty
Oh, for sure. I've
pretty
watched it
bad.
before.
It doesn't have a lot of gore. It doesn't have really any sexy scenes. I think it's kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Your team's Patchwork. What's your favorite horror movie?
I think there's like 6 to 7.
Mine has one main thing called Bond before the E.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened with Rob Zombie's movies, but there's always some sort of sex thing going on.
Yeah, but so Exorcist let's talk about your favorite franchise, right? Things that are full of R horror films. And that don't use excessive makeup. It was not made to be a cheesy slasher movie. It was made to make fun of cheesy slasher movies.
I didn't know that. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's created by director Wes Craven, the same mastermind behind Nightmare on Elm Street,
Oh, okay.
which I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize, but Scream was made by Wes Craven.
I didn't know that.
Um, yeah, Freddy Krueger and Ghostface are the same Wes Craven.
That's cool.
But so the plot is summarized by IMDb is that a year after the murder of her mother, a teenage girl is terrorized by a masked killer who targets her and her friends by scaring them away from the larger entity. That's the short of it. It is a bit. It's a really interesting movie. Again, it is a satirical
Oh.
Now, obviously, in Friday the 13th, there are warnings. Here's where the question is: Jason didn't show up to most people.
Oh.
Meredith's mother, Pamela Voorhees,
Damn.
which Pamela Voorhees would have been a real family. But of course, you don't think the mother of the person is going to be Jason Voorhees. So technically, she got caught. And we can get it on screen. And this is just one more question. This one is an easy one. Which door is it? I mentioned that there are two main doors for out, the front door and the second doors. Which one is that? And does she make holes? She doesn't answer. She runs along the road like a sane person would.
Yeah.
And then a chair is thrown through a door and down.
Motherfucker, dude.
Mother breaks in. Mother breaks in and starts stalking around the house. And eventually, he gets her and actually kills her as her parents are walking out the door to their house.
Oh,
Like, he manages to slash her throat. So she saw her parents walk out and try to go out, but couldn't because he slashed both of them.
yeah.
And then, yeah, it is that is one of the best opening credits in my opinion.
I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I have to rewatch it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it makes you think that Jason's going to be the protagonist until she
Yeah.
protagonist is suppressed. And like IMDb said, her mother had been killed the previous year. And he has a new adult caution about it because nothing else goes wrong in Woodsboro,
Yeah.
which is where the movie takes place. Nothing else goes on, so might as well touch up the on your anniversary of Welcome to Battle Forever.
Why not?
So yeah, so there's that. Then we get introduced to Sydney's boyfriend, Billy Boone. I believe his last name is Billy Batson, but being a reference to William S. Mulholland.
Yeah.
Because Wes Craven tried to put as many Easter eggs in there as possible. He even name dropped Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
Yeah, like seriously, the openings go reference Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th.
How does one manage that?
What he did last summer.
That's crazy.
Well, Halloween, Nightmare, and Friday were mentioned by Billy. The concept of it was done earlier by fuck, I don't remember the name, but it's also an urban legend.
Hmm.
The call comes from inside the house. Like, getting off track. I'm laughing like at my notes, but that's really a good way to say it.
You're better than me. Mine was a mumbo jumbo mess. So you're doing way better than I did.
Well, okay, so Billy breaks in theoretically, obviously. Her father comes in, to check on her because, hey, I heard screaming. Billy's hiding because he's that socially awkward house.
Yeah.
Um, it's a little fun thing. Her father mentions that he's going to be going out of town on a business trip for no other explanation because he would have told people.
Uh huh.
So just exposition beyond that. Then he leaves, and Billy explains why he's there, which in reality, I'm not going to spoil it. I posted it on one segment, but whatever. He mentions how he was watching The Exorcist, the
Oh.
made-for-TV version that came out, all the good shit,
Yeah. The stupid one.
and he compares it in Sydney's relationship to movie movies. Saying, like we were starting off good.
Oh,
And yeah,
that's not great.
but yeah, but really always fun. But
Yeah.
little when you flashback to a lot of horror movies I'm watching, they have that another little point to laugh at that again, you know. But eventually Lily leaves. Then we have the next day of school where news of Tracy the murderer has been, spread. It's like, oh hey, your classmate died. Did you know?
Oh, hey, yeah. Someone died. Can I pick your brain?
Yeah, and from there it's kind of a who done it because we don't know who the killer is. We have a red herring, you know, because later on Sydney was hatching in her house, and then all of a sudden the killer, Ghostface, is coming to Holland. Which, fun fact, he was not called Ghostface until I think Tiffany.
Oh, what did they call
The
him?
name Ghostface had not been known. He was always the Woodsboro Slasher.
Oh,
Whatever city they were in, slasher or killer, but they didn't actually call him Ghostface in the poster.
okay. Interesting.
Fun little trivia. Um, but yeah, so the killer had disappeared. All of a sudden, Billy finally lets them in. They're like, "Hey, I heard screaming. What's going on?" Sydney's like, "Oh my God, Billy! I'm so glad you're here." Hugs him, and then his cell phone falls out of his pocket. Now, they think it's a ghost face and he called the police.
Fuck.
And so that immediately makes Sydney scared and she runs away off to the police, thinking that, oh my God, it's Billy. So the cops arrest Billy. They question him, what are you doing with a cellular telephone? Everyone got one, Sheriff. This was the 90s,
Yeah,
you know.
this was
Phones
the
hadn't just started becoming a
the
thing.
Star Trek flip phone.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and now I remember the name of the movie that they did on it as well. When a Stranger Calls.
Okay.
Now I remember. Anyway, but yeah, so Billy ends up staying the night in jail, and while he's in jail, Sydney gets a call from the killer. Guess what? You got the wrong guy. I'm dead. And again, because she had accidentally accused a man named Cotton Weary of her mother's murder, because she thought someone believed the man guessed it and then died.
Oh,
So she accused Cotton because she saw someone in the evidence.
yeah.
But then, Ghostface says, "You got the wrong guy again," which tells you she mistook who it was for her mom.
Mhm.
And the side character Gale Weathers, played by Courtney Cox, our Scrabble fame, is writing a book about how she believed the Cotton was right, and she ended up being wrong. So she was writing a book about that. Um, that's like not really a major plot point until like the second or third movie, but yeah. Um, but yeah, so there's that. Sydney now believes Billy is totally in the clear for being the killer. Um, After that, we don't really get many suspects other than just who could it be, you know?
Mhm.
When fingers start pointing at everybody, then Stu Macher, played by Matthew Lillard of the Stupid Internet now, Five Nights at Freddy's fame. I fucking love Matthew Lillard. He's amazing.
He just does he just does whatever the fuck he wants and he's such a good actor.
He is the eccentric most, or eccentric the most in general. So shout out Matthew Lillard, rock solid. Yeah, his character is who's been there. He's Billy Crystal. I'm convinced that those two were made for each other, but we'll talk about that. He has a party at his home,
Oh no.
and he invites everyone in the school to go to this because there's a fucking killer on the loose.
This shit always happens in horror movies.
Yeah, so the police department sets a curfew. They ignore it. They have a party. Um, More people die than not. Um, there's Carol Foley who dressed up in the Santa Claus costume, which, fun fact, might actually show the packaging instead of the father's death.
Really?
That's supposed to be another red herring. You think it might be Sidney's father.
Oh.
Since the police are suspicious of her father. Think about it. Year after his wife dies, he's conveniently been committing all the murders so far. And the police were digging, and it was his phone number that they'll call when the case back.
Oh.
So the Sidney's father.
Uh-huh.
And the costume being named Father's Death is supposed to reinforce her father being Sidney, her father. And in the end, that is what the killer suspected. Like, I'm just gonna say it now. Everybody there. There's two killers.
Yeah.
They wanted to do Sidney's father. All bets
Hmm.
are off. They were wrong. Anyway, so uh, like the cops suspect Sidney's father. These two bullies were dressed up in those weird costumes, trying to scare people around school. Their principal did not appreciate that.
Fucked up thing to do.
Yeah, you may have seen it. So he expels both of them on the spot.
Just wait, just expels them for that?
Or was it suspended? One of the two. Expelled or suspended.
Suspended makes
For making
sense.
light of, yeah, for making light of the fact that students fucking
Yeah, that's like really fucked up.
and with a cat. Like, come on, that's not
When we had
like
someone,
wait, hold on.
well, when we had someone in our school that died tragically, like, could you imagine if somebody just started walking around and making light of that? Joking around? That's like so fucked up.
I know, right? But yeah, and then we get a nice little cameo moment of Wes Craven and janitor, being playing a janitor who is wearing the Freddy Krueger sweater and fedora,
Amazing.
and the principal, thinking the kids are bad, essentially being a naughty little shit.
Oh.
There's no one in the hallway except for the janitor, and he's like, "What'd you call me?" Like, not you, Freddy.
Oh, nice.
Nice little cameo. I was like, nice little reference, but the fact that that was actually Wes Craven.
That's amazing.
Um, yeah, but then the principal dies.
Oh, okay. Oh, fuck.
He was killed in a work for a distraction later on in the movie. Speaking of which, party. Um, my stomach's growling. I have no idea if you picked up on that. I probably did.
No.
Probably when I'm recording, I'll see that it's oh, Mary, hello.
Oh, hello.
Happy to have you.
Me too.
Sorry, I had the thing off for clearly recording. Thank you. But so they're at the party. Uh, Sydney's best friend Tatum, who is dating Stu, um, she's not really a big part of the movie. She's just kind of there until she dies. Oh, spoiler alert, she dies.
Damn. Of course.
Um, yeah, she dies in like more than 2 minutes, by the way.
Hmm. Oh, jeez. Hold on. Carlos is asking Ghostface is the what's up guy, right? Hmm. You do that so perfectly. Amazing. Okay. Fucking perfect. How did that not take him out? Did that take him out? That's the only way to subdue your killer. Well, damn. Was it her dump truck? Did she have a dump truck? Damn, what the fuck? Oh no. Oh my god, bro. Yeah. Of course. Of course. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fucking hell. Of course. Oh, Billy. Okay. I know, I know. Don't ask. I live in a dorm. My Wi-Fi is not great.
She gets, you know, just asks, who'd you call? You know, so like in prison you're allowed one phone call. And, she was like, yeah, I called my dad. And she's like, no, Sheriff Burke called your dad. Billy says, yeah, I didn't even answer when I called. Sydney is like, huh. And says, must be pretty smart if you're the killer to call me and use your one phone call in jail to throw me off your scent. Which is actually pretty damn smart.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. And so there's Billy's like, what do I have to do to prove to you I'm not a killer? At that moment, the killer comes up behind him and stabs him in the stomach a couple times.
Hmm.
Ghostface chases Sydney. Um, you know, they get to point where the only people Sydney's chased around, um, and he gets to the point where she sees two people coming. They're like, oh my god, he's the killer, he's the killer, being Randy and Stu. She, armed with Deputy, fucking, why the hell did I forget his name?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, yeah, Deputy.
Deputy,
Oh my God.
she's armed with his gun because he came into investigating, got stabbed in the back, literally. Um, she's armed with his gun, taking him to the scene, and they're both pleading like, he's the killer, no, he's the killer, no, he's the killer. She actually says, fuck you both, and slams the door in their face. And then, at that moment, Billy calls out, oh, shit, acting all weak and shit, because he was just stabbed, right? And then apparently Randy made his way inside. I was like, oh my god, you have to tell me Stu's not crazy. No, Stu's not mad. Billy, for the sake of redemption, Sydney tells Randy to smile, which we all go a little mad sometimes, before shooting Randy in the head by just holding a knife out. And, kind of confirming he is a killer, or he's the killer. I keep texting my mic so I can plug my phone in because it's dying.
Oh, that's fine.
Um, yeah, so like we all go mad sometimes, and then shoots Randy, and they oh wait, is that one? Oh, that's stressing. Um, so Sydney realizes, oh my god, Billy is the murderer, and then she sees Stu. She's like, oh my god, Stu, help me, Billy.
It cut out for a second because you were switching your mic up.
Yeah. That's when they get the reveal that there are two killers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they corner Sydney, taunting her, what's the matter, Sydney? You look like you've seen a ghost. And then that's when they reveal Billy's motive for killing, because Sydney's mother may have used Billy's father for a little adultery,
Oh shit.
which caused Billy's mother to leave. So it was a revenge plot.
Okay.
And then they wanted, what they were planning was to make it seem like on the 1 year anniversary of his wife's death, Sydney's father went crazy and killed just the people that they killed, but also Sydney and himself. Meanwhile, they, Billy and Stu, got to live to plan the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Because, to quote Stu, let's face it, these days, you gotta have a sequel.
Fuck.
Which that statement only gets more and more true.
Yeah. The amount of Halloween movies we have, the amount of Scream movies we have.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even.
The amount of Saw movies.
Oh, the Saw movies. Oh.
They're only Saw 10 now.
Yeah, which is insane. I don't know why, but I think we can't come up with anything else.
I know. But yeah, and then, we get the classic, hunt down the killers, kill them before they can kill you. And then, final girl sitting in the back of the ambulance, having just watched her, friends die. All that, the classic ending for a slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the original Scream. Scream 2 is decent. It's a careful look on sequels. And Scream 3 was just a careful look on the fact that, let's be honest, sometimes things go on a bit longer than it should.
Yeah.
Scream 4 was just, similar. There was making fun of movie franchises that are long dead, but then are just suddenly resurrected. Scream 5 was a careful look on requels. Remakes that double as sequels to the original.
Okay.
Kind of like with Halloween, there was the original timeline, which was Halloween, Halloween 2, Season of the Witch, Return of Michael Myers, Curse of Michael Myers, all that.
Uh-huh.
And then with 2018's Halloween, they retconned it to where the only, it's only the original, the 2018 one, and the ones that come after that.
Yeah. Wait, so
Scream 5 was a sequel from that.
well, there's also like the original Halloween, then Rob Zombie's Halloween, and then Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And then there's the
Right.
other Halloweens, which are which I consider them
Those
separate.
are, like Rob Zombies are remakes.
Yeah.
Sequels to the original, they are straight up remakes.
Yeah.
2018's Halloween is a sequel to the original 1978 Halloween.
Okay.
1970 something.
1970. Oh, fuck, I can't remember. Hold on.
70 something.
Let me look.
But all in all, IMDb gives Scream a 7.4 out of 10. I'd say it's probably 7.5, 8 out of 10, yeah. I'd say they're pretty accurate on that. It's not perfect, but it does what it's trying to do, make fun of the slasher subgenre. And I'd say it does pretty well. Admittedly, the sequels do kind of dip in quality, but that's true of most movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I genuinely can't think of a single franchise where they have more than 2 movies and all those movies are bangers. Like, usually number 1 and number 2 are decent. Number 3 if they drop the ball for the most part. And then, they might, get their groove back with number 4 and then drop it again to number 5. Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the only real difference is depending on how you break it up. Star Wars, because the first one, A New Hope, was amazing. Empire Strikes Back was really good, and then Return of the Jedi was amazing as well. However, then the prequels come, and depending on who you ask, those drop in quality. Depending on who you movie after were really great, and the sequels that came, and then almost universally people say that they dropped in quality. You get it.
Yeah, a lot of like it's never gonna be perfect.
Yeah. I don't know a single franchise where every movie in it is a banger.
Yeah.
Like, franchises that have, 3+ movies. Because technically I can say Five Nights at Freddy's because that movie was awesome.
That movie was great.
It really was. That was a true movie for the fans.
It was just it was great in all the best ways, you know.
It was. Like all the references, the games, and everything is really, really good.
Figuring out
Other
why
than the, family aspect,
yeah.
I understand why they put it in because, children's characters and stuff.
I thought it was great that we figured out why one of the cameras didn't show feed because pizza box is in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
yeah, yeah. Like it was really, really good.
Yeah, we should
What
talk
are
about
some
it.
other things?
We'll have to make an episode on it because it's so good.
Yeah, yeah. It was really good. Okay, how long has it been?
About an hour, a
Psych.
little over an hour.
A lot of them are.
Yeah.
According to this, so let me, because I can do slash up time. We have been live for an hour and 41 minutes and 8 seconds.
Amazing.
Yeah. So if you want, we can call this episode here, or we can keep going.
I think we should call it. Like, I think this was a pretty good episode. Of course, there's things we're gonna have to work on. I'm gonna have to work on getting a better mic and, set up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm gonna have to, remember to actually take notes.
no, you're
All
good.
over the place.
Better than me.
No, you're actually really good.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm. Yeah. So I suppose we'll call it here. I hope
Yeah.
everyone enjoyed. Um, if you guys if you guys would like to see any recordings or stuff, you can check us out on YouTube at the Obscenely Long Podcast name. You can follow us on Twitter at the Obscenely Long Podcast name. Yes. But yeah. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'm just glad we had a few people pop in and out. Thank you to Carlos for talking about
Yes.
the
Thank you.
cake on that one
I need to do a little bit more.
and letting him stab you 3 times. Amazing, Carlos.
Oh,
Brought so much to the discussion. I appreciate you.
and for
Uh,
all of you who are watching on YouTube, if you'd like to see us live, you can follow me on Reality at Patchwork. You can follow it Satsu here on Reality as well. I love how I'm gesturing as if they can see it.
yes, beautiful. Beautiful.
Links to both of our Reality accounts will be in the description below. Episodes will go up on YouTube a day or two after recorded. We will record on Sundays and Tuesdays. Sundays are me, and Tuesdays are the top two.
Hooray.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all next time.
Bye. Screen